One. Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies with Nerd is the New Bully. I'm your host, Leroy, with my co-host.
This is Eli.
Yep, and we are back. And Eli, we had a good run, but the streak has been broken.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the streak has been broken. For those who don't know, legendary comic creator Steve Ditko has passed. Now, let me back this up and say Steve Ditko has passed, because the thing is, I know a lot of you guys know who Stan Lee is. You know Stan Lee, and you probably think Stan Lee made the entire universe with a 12-inch ruler and an ink pen in his mom's basement, just cranked out characters after characters in his mom's basement, and that's what happened. That is not what happened. It was a collaborative team with a bunch of guys that helped him, create these universes, and some people say may even have more input than he did. But we're not going to go down that road. Yeah. We're just going to say that it was a collaborative effort. And the thing is, if you don't know who Steve Ditko is and you listen to this podcast, just admit to yourself that you are a casual. Mm-hmm. You are not a comic book fan.
And don't feel bad about that.
Right. Don't feel bad about it. We're not insulting you. We're not talking bad about it. We're just admitting a reality to you. That you have
You're not cursed with all this useless bullshit knowledge that we are.
Exactly. Our dicks are not bigger because we know who Steve Ditko is and you don't.
It sounds like y'all have lives.
Right. Like, we spent all our time learning who Steve Ditko was, and John Romita and Sal Buscema and Jack Kirby and Steve Taranko and all these folks and shit like that. Yeah, we spent time doing that, but we do this stuff so you don't have to.
Yeah.
That's kind of the whole point of symbiotic relationship. So let's back this up and just talk about who and what Steve Ditko did. So, fans, like I said, Steve Ditko has created some of your favorite characters. Like I said, he not only penciled the issue of Amazing Fantasy number 15, which you don't know, which is the first appearance of Spider-Man, he actually designed Spider-Man's outfit also, the iconic outfit that is still to this day. Like, you got all these comic book characters that had all these, outfit, change-ups and redesigns. Spider-Man's outfit is pretty much the same way it was in 1966 or whenever it was,
Yeah.
Maybe a few changes, but other than that, that's pretty much it. Because the thing was, like I said, Jack Kirby was another legend, that passed a while ago, made Captain America and a bunch of other Fantastic Four and a bunch of other folks also. So Stan Lee actually gave, the work to Jack Kirby to make Spider-Man. He said, I got this idea for Spider-Man, being by Spider, Strange, whatever. Jack Kirby, make a costume for this guy. So Jack Kirby made the costume for the guy. Stan Lee hated it, said he looked too, big, bulky. He looked like Captain America, square jaw chins like that. Like, no, that's not the guy I want. So then he went to Steve Ditko. Steve Ditko brought him a different design, the classic Spider-Man design we had, but at the same time, he was, lanky, skinny, he wasn't square jaw, wasn't broad shouldered. He's just like a regular guy. Like, that's it. That's Spider-Man. And then they ran with the story, and that's it. Bam, you got Spider-Man.
And some people say that Ditko may have designed Peter Parker after himself.
If you look at Steve Ditko's high school picture, which I just looked at it before we came on this podcast to do some research, it is the exact same image of Peter Parker in Amazing Fantasy 15. It's almost like Steve Ditko took his high school picture and just made Peter Parker. It's eerie the way it looks. So. Like I said, that's Spider-Man. Not only did he make Spider-Man, he also made, and we can go down a list of the folks he made, but another iconic character he made also, who you also may know, is Doctor Strange. Yeah. Now, when he made Doctor Strange, he was in Strange Tale. I don't remember the exact issue. Google if you want to. And the thing with Doctor Strange that popped up, he had no origin, had no full name. He just popped up, just did magic, and that's it. And he was a fan favorite. Then he went back and did an origin for him and all the car crash, and he was expert surgeon, stuff like that. But anyway, he did all the stuff with Doctor Strange, and he was able to like really do some out there artwork and stuff like that, and it was really crazy. So you got these two iconic characters, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange. Like I said, it's just the tip of the iceberg. He also, on the DC side, he made a whole bunch of folks also. The most interesting people he made was the Charleston Comics characters. Now, you may not know who Charleston Comics, that may not ring a bell to you at all. But I'm going to just name off some of the Charleston Comics characters. You have Captain Atom, who he made. You have Question, who he made. Some other folks also. But mainly those characters just named were the basis of Watchmen. Alan Moore wanted to take the Charleston characters and make like a gritty new age story of them, but DC wouldn't let him do it at the time because they knew he was going to make some drastic changes to the characters. So instead of taking the Charleston character, he based the characters on. So to take a second question, he made him into Rorschach, and instead of Captain Atom, he made him into Dr. Manhattan, and blah blah blah, and so forth and so on. And they basically, if you don't have the Charleston characters, you don't have Watchmen.
So whenever you hear Alan Moore bitching about people ripping him off, shit.
Right. I ripped him off first. But here's the thing, Eli. Okay, he made all these folks, and that's all cool. Spider-Man is cool. Doctor Strange is cool. But they are nothing compared to his greatest comic creation of all time.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, his greatest creation of all time. Screw Watchmen, screw Spider-Man, screw Doctor Strange. His greatest creation of all time is the unbeatable Squirrel Girl. That is his greatest creation of all time. A lot of people think that Squirrel Girl was made like back in the 60s, something like that. No, actually, it's far from it. Squirrel Girl was actually made like in the 90s, like 91 when he made her. And I'm not going to tell the whole story of how she was made and stuff like that. Yes, she because last week I told a story about how Luke Cage beat up Dr. Doom. Her first story, she beat up Dr. Doom. I'm not going to go down that road. But mainly, Eli, the reason I like Squirrel Girl so much, because she always put fanboys' nipples in a twist. They hate hearing about her because she doesn't care about continuity. She doesn't care about power levels. She doesn't care about any of that shit. She just does whatever the fuck she want to do, beats whoever she wants to beat, and fanboys hate that shit because they take this shit so seriously and so religiously, and she just pisses on that shit. So, like, how can you not love a character like that? It's just any character that pisses those fanboys off, I love.
And that more recent run of Squirrel Girl that's been going on. I mean, I haven't kept up with it, but I read a few issues, and they were really well written as far as like comic. They took comics in a different direction. Mm-hmm. Lots of almost like in a way Deadpool did. Lots of meta references. There was like stuff going on in between the panels and stuff. You could see little side notes, and it really took the comic book medium to in a different direction, which is nice. I mean, it's always nice to push the boundaries of the medium.
Yeah. And plus they're making a Squirrel Girl TV show. Yeah. There were actually New Warriors, but she's going to be like the headline.
Yeah, and it's your girl. Isn't it your girl?
It's my girl. Yep. The AT&T girl.
Yeah.
Who I've always said was hot, but nobody believed me. Rest in peace to Steve Ditko. Like I said, he gave us all these iconic characters. He did get, unlike other comic book creators, he actually got a chance to see characters make it to the big screen where other ones past got a chance to, but he got a chance to do. So, rest in peace from that. Can we move on from that, Eli? Yeah. Let's do it. Okay, so now, like I said, we're going to move into the next part of the podcast. This is the box office numbers, where we always tell the box office and kind of see where everything is going, and we kind of concentrate kind of like on the comic book movies, but we like to concentrate on the other stuff that we like also. So, number one on the box office, Eli, give it to me.
Is it Ant-Man?
It is Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. Okay.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. It is number one at the box office this weekend. Pretty good. It has knocked off Incredibles 2, which is number 2.
Really?
Yeah, Incredibles 2. I think Incredibles 2 has let me look at it. Pause for a second. Like I said, we didn't see Incredibles 2, but we're there. Okay, it hadn't hit $1 billion yet, but it's already on pace to be one of the highest grossing movies of this year. Not Ant-Man, I mean Incredibles.
Oh.
Yeah,
Incredibles. I heard Jurassic Park was doing really well. That already hit $1 billion.
Well, now in Jurassic, let me see Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park's already hit $1 billion.
Yeah.
Which is insane because it came after Incredibles.
Yeah, I mean it's number 3. That's
right. It's Jurassic Park's number 3. Now here's the thing, Eli. Let me talk about Incredibles for a second. Like I said, I haven't seen it, but at the same time, I feel bad for the director.
Okay.
Now here's the reason why I feel bad.
Who did that? Is that Brad Bird? Did Brad Bird do that?
Brad Bird did it. Yeah. Now this is why I feel bad for Brad Bird. Now, like I said, I haven't seen Incredibles 2, but I'm pretty sure it's an amazing movie. I love Incredibles 1, but at the same time, I felt like that he cranked out Incredibles 1 some odd years ago, over a decade ago, and I think he did want to expand onto other movies. Like I said, he made one of Mission Impossible movies. And in my opinion, the Mission Impossible movie he made was the best Mission Impossible movie. That movie was a game changer for me. It's one of my favorite action movies that year, like period. But okay, he made that movie. Then he decided to branch out. Like, okay, I'm gonna do a George Clooney movie. It tanked. It bombed. I didn't see the movie, but
was that
bombed.
Tomorrowland?
Tomorrowland, right?
That's actually pretty good. I mean, I heard it bomb,
and that happens.
I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it on cable, and I was like, well, that was actually kind of cool.
Right, but you know how the box office works. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
Yeah.
So it may have been a good movie. It happens all the time. Good movies don't make money, and that's what happened with him. So if he doesn't produce, they have a hard time for them to give him money for another movie. But if he says, I want to make an Incredibles 2 movie, they're going to make him, give him that. So he cranked out Incredibles 2. It's probably going to hit $1 billion before it's all said and done and stuff like that. But do you think they're going to give him money for another live action movie or a passion project he wants to do? Or are they going to give him money to make crank out another Incredibles 3?
Yeah, well, he almost made The Force Awakens. He was on the list.
Right.
Before J.J. Abrams got the job, but
Well, JJ was always kind of a lock-in for that. I didn't see anybody stopping him from getting part one of that. Yeah. But that's my thing. I feel like he tried to branch out, but now he's kind of stuck cranking out cartoons for the rest of his life. That's what I think is going. I feel bad for him, and I can't say I feel bad for him because he's making good movies. Yeah. But I feel like he wants to branch out, and I feel like, because if you're a creator, you want to do other stuff. You don't want to get pigeonholed in. And I'm not saying it for Brad Bird. I'm thinking like for any creator. Like they want to branch out and do other stuff, but when you get pigeonholed, stuck into doing one thing, it kind of limits your creativity. That's why I almost feel bad about George Lucas, with Star Wars. Now, remember, I know you remember this, Eli. Like I said, we're old dogs, remember this stuff. Like when George Lucas was an up-and-comer, it was him and Steven Spielberg. Him and Steven Spielberg were they were best friends, but at the same time they were rivals. They were basically like Ken and Ryu, in Street Fighter. So they were cranking out movies back and forth, seeing who could top who. They made bets. You got Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I bet you my Star Wars would beat it. Bet, they made a bet and stuff like that. So, but at the same time, Steven Spielberg, branched out to other movies and kept doing other things and making it creative. Where George Lucas, on the other hand, got stuck with Star Wars. Yeah. He couldn't make anything else. And not that he couldn't make anything else. It almost like he wasn't allowed to make anything else because people just want Star Wars.
Yeah, and he pretty much just became the head of this company.
Yeah, you can't feel too bad for him because maybe that's the direction he wanted to go.
Because he didn't direct anything until Phantom Menace, until the prequels.
That is true. Like you said, he didn't direct Empire Strikes Back. He didn't direct Return of the Jedi. But like I said,
direct the Indiana Jones. He didn't direct Willow.
Right. But it doesn't. Before Star Wars, he had other movies under his belt. Leading up to it. At least branching out. So I don't know. That's how I feel. I kind of feel bad for Brad Bird, but you can't feel bad for a guy that's gonna have $1 billion movie on his belt. Woe is me. Number four. Like I said, we said number 3 was Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. Number 4 is The First Purge. So.
Oh no shit! That cracked the top 5. Huh?
That cracked the top 5. I'm hearing a lot of things about this movie. I'm hearing it's basically dubbed as Black Lives Matter the movie.
I like the Purge movies. I might go check it out. I saw the last one in the theater, so and I dig them. So I'll probably see it at some point. I don't know if
especially this one is a prequel, and they say the whole thing the Purge got started was because basically they were trying to get rid of blacks and Mexicans. So, honestly, hearing that makes me interested about it also. Like, okay, because I've never seen the Purge movie before.
Oh, yeah, and it takes place in Staten Island, so it's got this whole escape from New York
type deal. So,
which is one of my favorite movies. So I'm
one of mine too. Yeah, that movie's awesome. It invented Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Number 5, Sicario: Day of the Soldado. Like I said, we talked about that one. I guess it's doing okay. Maybe it's hitting the numbers it want to. I don't know. So, number 6, we have Uncle Drew still hanging in there, putting up good numbers. I'm pretty sure it didn't cost a lot of money to do that one. Number 7, Ocean's 8 still hanging in there. Number 8, we have Tag, and number 9, Won't You Be My Neighbor? Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's any other movie in there. Ooh. Check this out, Eli. Number 14, Solo: A Star Wars Story.
Wow, I'm surprised it's still out. Like I said.
Is it? If you're number 14, it's like only a matter of time,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm waiting for it to not be in a theater yet.
Yeah, I'm just go ahead and put it out on Blu-ray already. Let's go ahead and watch this thing. Nobody's gonna go back to the theaters and watch Solo. So yeah, like I said, that was the box office right there. Now, like I said, today I did get a chance to watch Ant-Man and the Wasp. I waited all weekend to see it, and I got a chance to view it. Now, Eli you didn't see it.
No,
that's cool. No big deal. Like I said, it's not some movie. I'll get to it. I'm just gonna give a quick review, a quick summary, spoiler free. I'm not gonna spoil anything.
That's fine. I mean, hey, Infinity War got spoiled for me, so I don't.
Right. Oh no, you cannot know anything about Ant-Man and the Wasp. No.
Yeah, I don't care. It doesn't.
It'll ruin the whole experience. No, it's not like that. I mean, like I said, I went and watched the movie, and at the end of the day, it's just you've seen them. They you know how we felt like the Marvel movies went to another direction where you had Thor Ragnarok, doing something different, and Black Panther doing something different. You got Infinity War doing something different. Ant-Man and Wasp just doing the same thing.
Yeah,
it's the same stuff we were claiming about it for. It's got a shitty villain, okay plot, snarky hero. It's very fillerish. Like for instance, like if you don't watch this movie, you'll be perfectly fine because this movie barely ties into Infinity War. It's a tacked on scene that ties to Infinity War. Other than that, it could be just anything. And that's another thing about it, that because it's so far away from Infinity War, it feels like there's no consequence. Like whatever happens, it doesn't really matter.
Well, if I don't I'm trying to think. No, I didn't see Thor: Dark World in the theater. That was, I think, the only Marvel movie that I haven't seen in the theater. Maybe.
Well, see, here's the thing with Thor: The Dark World. I think you almost kind of have to see it only because it involves an Infinity Stone, and I think that's about it. There's no.
I'm saying in the theater, like if I don't see the new Ant-Man, will it? I was like that. Maybe it was. I think that might be the second Marvel movie that I didn't see in the theater.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm trying to think if I might have seen everyone else in the theater except Dark World.
Well, here's the thing. I'm looking at the numbers. Let me pull these numbers up real quick. And I know I'm doing a review right now, but I'm just gonna look at these numbers real quick. Opening weekend of Ant-Man and the Wasp. Like I said, the opening weekend was 76 million. Now, for a regular movie, that's not bad. They'd be jumping for joy, champagne and orgies and stuff like that. But for a Marvel movie, that is different. For a Marvel movie, it is it is the 5th lowest grossing Marvel opening weekend. So it's a lot of people just like, I don't care,
Well, it's hopefully they didn't blow 300, 400 million on this.
I doubt they did. I doubt they did, because the thing is, it actually did outgross Ant-Man's opening weekend. So it did better than Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And overall, I feel like the movie is better than Ant-Man. Now, let me talk about Ant-Man for a second. I feel like the first Ant-Man is the most mediocre Marvel movie they've ever made. It's not the worst. It's not the best. They made like a whole crap load of these movies, right? Wherever they are, Ant-Man is right there in the middle. Like, that's your barometer right there. So I do feel like Ant-Man and the Wasp is better than that one. I did feel like it was more entertaining. Since it's one director instead of two directors like the last movie, it feels more, more focused,
Yeah.
And so I love Wasp, but that actress, I've always loved her ever since Lost and stuff like that. So it's cool. It's even though it's a lot more characters in there, it's still Ant-Man's movie. Even though it kind of feels like Ant-Man actually fucked up the movie more, like the plot of the movie probably would have got simplified, like solved a whole lot quicker if Ant-Man wasn't in the movie. Okay. If you watch the movie, it'll make more sense to you. It's like everything, because he kept fucking up so much.
Okay. Well, it sounds like that's all he is. He's just like comic relief.
That's all he is, but he got to the point that not only was he comic relief, like the plot wise, he kept doing stupid shit to make the plot drag itself out. Where I feel like if he wasn't even in it, and if it was just Wasp movie, this movie probably would have been 30 minutes and that's it, and everybody went home. And some people say that was a criticism also. They kind of, because Ant-Man wasn't like a complete idiot in the first movie. He actually seemed like he was competent and capable. But in this one, he does seem like a complete idiot in this movie, where he constantly keeps fucking up. and you can almost say they kind of downplay him to upplay Wasp, because obviously she knows what the hell she's doing in this movie. So,
okay, yeah.
But I'm not gonna get into all the SJW bullshit that's going on. I'll let the internet handle all that stuff. So I know some people are already mad because people are complaining that her image on the poster was bigger than his image.
Oh, that the Wasp was a woman,
right? That's the internet for you. It's always some bullshit going on. But yeah, overall, I give the movie, and here's the thing: I'm gonna give the movie a 3 out of 5. The reason I'm giving the movie a 3 out of 5 because I'm thinking about stuff about what I remember from the movie, and I can't remember anything from the movie. And I saw it today, so that should tell you something. So yeah, it's an entertainable movie that you will completely forget about the moment you walk out of the movie, because everything that happens in the movie is inconsequential. Okay,
so there's no really connect. Is there any connection to Infinity War? Or is it just filler?
I'm not gonna spoil it, but I will say the only connection is in the first after credit scene.
Oh, okay.
Only the first after credit scene. The rest of the movie is inconsequential. The first after credit scene ties into Infinity War. The second after credit scene, completely meaningless. Like, has nothing. Like, you literally don't need to watch. After you watch the first credit scene, just leave. Just walk out. So yeah, so that's how I feel about Ant-Man and Wasp. But it's nothing you just gotta just rush out and just go see. It's, if you like the first Ant-Man, you'll like this. But if you didn't like the first Ant-Man, yeah, whatever. Yeah. That being said, let's keep on to this MCU thread we have going on. Like I said, we're gonna talk about Thanos for a second, because we have something that did tie into Infinity War, and there is a Reddit page dedicated. It's a Reddit fan page dedicated to Thanos, and the page is called. Now, Eli, did I tell you anything about this?
Yeah, you sent me the link. I read a little. I didn't read every comment, but
okay,
I kind of skimmed through it. Yeah.
Okay, well, let me give you the nuts and bolts and the gist of really what's going on. Okay, so the name of the page is Thanos Did Nothing Wrong. Mm-hmm. So that's the name of the page. So they love Thanos so much that they decided to get with the admins, and they just said on July 9th, they're going to do their own snapping or the Snapture or whatever. Now, what I mean by that, like currently that Reddit page has almost 600,000 subscribers. So on July 9th, they're going to delete half.
Okay.
Yeah. So who's going to be there? They don't know. They're just going to and they say they're going to do it as a bot. So it's going to be random, so it won't be picking favorites and stuff like that. So they don't know who's going to get deleted. People are taking bets, people are saying they're going to go to the Snapture. I think they're even going to make a separate page called the Soul Stone page. So everybody gets deleted. It can just hang out there. So, because they said they were going to do it on July 5th at first. They said to push it back to the 9th. So that seems kind of insane to just delete 300,000 people. But, hey, that's Thanos for you. Just perfectly balanced as all things should be. I'm trying to think, is there any other Marvel? Oh, yeah, one more Marvel news on there. We just got news today that Captain Marvel has wrapped. So that's cool. Yeah. So they're done with that. Now, when it means it wrapped, it doesn't mean the movie is completely done. It doesn't mean principal photography has been finished. But it means now the CGI people and special effects people have got to do their thing. So they have until whenever that movie comes out, they're going to crank out these special effects and get it going from there. So, but yeah, as far as
Samuel L. Jackson some hair. And
yeah. Oh, yeah. They did say that Samuel Jackson will be digitally de-aged in this movie.
Yeah.
Which, I got to admit, on Ant-Man and the Wasp, Eli, they perfected that technology.
Oh, no shit.
When they showed Michelle Pfeiffer at the beginning, it's not a spoiler. You already know she's in it because she's in the poster. It fucked me up. She looked like she just walked out of Batman Returns. Like, that shit was eerie. Like, you couldn't tell at all. There was nothing. So, if they perfected it now, by the time they get to Captain Marvel, he's gonna look like Pulp Fiction. Does Marcellus Wallace look like a bitch?
So Jerry Curl and shit.
Right.
Jerry Curl.
Say what again? I double dare you, motherfucker. So yeah, but that's all for the Yeah, that's all for the Captain. Well, Marvel news in general. Well, kind of Marvel news, because now we're going to stick to one other character. And that is not character, but I guess it is a character. Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Scarlett Johansson in news again.
Seriously, folks. But seriously.
So apparently, and I'm going to pull up this information. I want to make sure I don't misinterpret any of this. Scarlett Johansson is playing, she just accepted the role to play a transgender, a real life transgender that's real name is Dante Tex Gill. Mm-hmm. But since she's playing a transgender and she's not a transgender, you have people and even actors that are transgender very, very upset about this. Yeah. Now, for people that, are new to this whole Scarlett Johansson controversy, this is almost exactly what happened last year with another movie that she played in, which is Ghost in the Shell, who said that maybe, she was taking the role of an Asian character. And they were saying that maybe Asian characters should have played her. Now, I defended Ghost in the Shell at the time until I saw the movie. Now, when I saw the movie, I was like, what the fuck? I'm going to spoil that movie for you. That movie's a piece of shit anyway. So people are saying, oh, her race doesn't matter because she's a robot. Well, maybe it does. But at the end of the movie, they reveal that she actually was playing an Asian woman. Yep. And she put an Asian woman in her body. So I'm like, what the fuck? She hugged her Asian mother and everything. So she literally was whitewashed as an Asian character. So you can't defend Ghost in the Shell. If anything you tried to defend a Ghost in the Shell, that ending completely fucks you up. Yeah,
it was pretty cringy.
Yeah, so I'm like, well, but like I said, that is not the reason that movie sucked. That movie sucked because that movie sucked. Could have got anybody in the room. Almost glad they put Scarlett Johansson in, because if they put a Asian woman in that shitty ass movie, I almost would feel bad for her. Like, you just set up to fail. So that being said, now here's the thing. I looked up what was going on with this, and then, like I said, there are some trans actors that are pretty much upset with everything that's going on with Scarlett Johansson, and they're throwing around a lot of terms that I don't know. Like I said, I'm not familiar with any of this stuff.
Yeah, the whole binary whatever. That's over my head. Hey, I'm cool with it all. Whatever makes you happy. Whatever,
Yeah, and comic we are tolerant. We are tolerant. We are not bashing anybody. I feel like if you're an adult and it doesn't hurt kids and it's legal, have fun.
Yeah, go for it.
Have fun. Do you?
I don't know these terms or what you call whatever, or someone called me a cis white male. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Well, first, the only thing that offended me is they called me white.
Right.
I was like, I ain't white.
Right. You've been called a racist before, but not white,
Yeah. But cis white male, I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Oh, that means you identify as a male. Okay. And okay, yeah. What's the problem?
Right. Am I supposed to be offended at that?
I'm a dude. I like boobs and burgers and, what? Okay, is that wrong? I don't know. But whatever, man. Whatever.
Whatever floats your boat. That's it.
Yeah.
But Eli, we got to go there, man. We got to go. Like I said, this is one of those topics where because I felt like we never not turned down a topic. I feel like any topic that ever came up in the, in the geek world, we've always addressed it head on. This one, I was almost like, maybe we should leave this one alone. Until you text me, like, let's talk about it. So fuck it, let's go there. Okay, so do you think that Scarlett Johansson is miscast in this role?
Hey, my first reaction, a movie called Rub and Tug, starring Scarlett Johansson. I'm there.
Right.
But when I read about what it was about and all that, I'm like, okay. I mean, the movie sounds interesting, but and I get it. Representation matters, You know, especially we were all over Black Panther's nuts over how important representation was.
Right.
And I understand. Yeah, it it matters, and it's good to have people cast in these roles, and I'm all for that. But I also understand, hey, they got to sell a movie, they got to put butts in seats. Of course, we thought that this is the same argument they had with Ghost in the Shell,
right?
And
it blew up in their face, right?
And it did, But at the end of the day, for me as a Native American, until I see a Native American family sitcom on TV, I'm like, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm like, shut up. Because they got that TV show about the ball or whatever, where I don't know what it's called, the Vogers. There was transgender people who like broke into like buildings in New York and like had balls and shit.
I've
like
never heard of that.
These model catwalk balls is like it's. I know I haven't watched it. It looked interesting. I just haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet. But I'm like, yeah, you guys got your own TV shows and shit.
Yeah.
And
I mean, like I said, and transgender actors are starting to pop up on more shows. Like you'll watch a show and you'll be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, you're not used to that stuff, but how will Scarlett Johansson be portrayed as a transgender? I don't know.
Yeah, and who's a man? It's a man, right? She's playing a man. Basically?
Well, that's the thing. Like, you can't say that. That's actually insensitive.
Okay, yeah. See, sorry.
That's what I'm saying. I don't agree. Like you said, you fuck around and say the wrong thing, and everybody jumps down your throat because you know.
Yeah. Sorry. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't understand.
Like we're admitting we don't understand, but at the same time, if you do understand and if you're pissed about this, I feel like that you're allowed to be pissed about this.
Yeah.
If you want representation, of any kind, you're allowed to be pissed. If somebody wants to get mad at you for being mad at that, screw them. Tell them to go take a hike or something like that, because anybody can be mad at whatever they want to be, because everybody wants to be represented in some way in the media.
Yeah, this is. I mean, even my kid understands it more than I do.
But that's the thing. I mean, like I said, I feel like kids are growing up in a different world than we are.
Yeah.
We didn't grow up with this.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell? I mean, I didn't know what gay was until I was like a teenager. Like I had no idea.
Well, I mean, we kind of knew, but I think our perception of gay is different than what kids' perception of gay is now.
Yeah.
I mean, let's go there. Let's go there. Gay used to be a mental illness.
Yeah.
I mean, diagnosed as a mental illness. I'm not saying I think it was a mental illness, but they used to be diagnosed as a mental illness. But now, perception of it has changed since then. Now people have representation of it. But like I said, the way we grew up with it, how it was, completely different than it was now. Even when you started seeing gay people popping up on TV or the movie and stuff like that, it was like once every now and then, or somebody popped up as groundbreaking, like Ellen DeGeneres or something.
Roseanne had gay
like you were saying,
people on her old show back in the day.
Right. Or they would have a special episode, or the next door neighbor would come over and reveal they were gay, and they would have a whole episode about it, and they would talk about it and stuff like that, and you're like, okay, But now it's completely different now. Superhero shows, the CW, every single show has a gay person. Well, I'm not going to say gay because like that's being sensitive also. LGBT, whatever. That.
There's a Q in there somewhere.
Whatever classified, whatever's in that category, you got one on each show.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that. And I actually didn't know this at the time. Okay. Remember that guy, the guy Greg Berlanti, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, he's gay.
He's gay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until I found out that he directed Love, Simon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So when I realized he directed, it's like a light bulb went off my head. Like, oh.
Yeah.
Like the ending of that movie, Usual Suspects.
Oh. Yeah.
So that's what
dropped the coffee cup and shit.
Right, coffee cup dropped. You guys are so safe the whole time. So that shocked me now. So it's a completely different world we live in than we did now. Now you got like Kevin Feige saying he's going to push for LGBT characters in the Marvel universe, not just on the TV screen, but in the Marvel universe. And I think he's full of shit. People need to understand that almost everything that comes out of Kevin Feige's mouth is bullshit. So don't take anything he says seriously, because he says he's going to make LGBT characters, but he said he's already had them in there. But the thing is, every time they shoot an LGBT scene, it's cut out. Valkyrie is gay in the comics. They said she had a scene, but they cut it out. One of the Dora Milaje is gay in the comics. They had a scene, but they cut it out.
Yeah.
So if you cut it out, you're not gay. Because you don't have a scene to say, oh, take our word for it, they're gay. We didn't shoot the scene, even though the scene doesn't exist. No. So, Kevin Feige, stop fucking with people.
I mean, once one of these movies make $1 billion, then they'll be
right.
Once having gay characters in your movies is profitable, then it'll. Yeah.
Now, if DC want to get a leap on this, make a Midnighter movie.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. That was the funniest scene when he was looking at Nightwing was in disguise. He was like, "Oh, I recognize Nightwing. I know that ass anywhere." Like, what? I think we got way off topic. Can we get off this topic?
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, I had nowhere to go with that one on there. So trying to think what else we got on there. Okay. Eli, we got time to kill. You want to talk about William Shatner?
Do I? We got time.
I told you I was going to segue into it.
All right. William Shatner. You know what? I'm not a Star Trek fan, so I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
I'm not a Little House on the Prairies fan, so again, that's another thing I don't give a shit. However, I am Native American, and this sort of, I guess, I'm obligated to have an opinion on this. So, okay, now what has happened? Laura Ingalls Wilder, she wrote the books about Little House on the Prairie. They were a bunch of books. They made a TV show back in the 80s. Was it the 80s? I was a little kid. Not a fan of the show. My sister watched it.
I think it was in the 70s.
Yeah, it was.
I think by the time we were coming up, it was already in reruns.
Yeah, I wasn't into it. It wasn't my thing. About Little House on the Prairie. Well, she had a book award that they gave to authors who would write children's books, and this has been going on for years. If I got the Laura Ingalls Wilder Book Award or whatever the fuck it was called. Well, as it turns out, the committee, the people who run the award, decided to change the name of the award because, as it turns out, in some of her books, there are some sort of racially insensitive references to Native Americans. Now, this is back. She wrote these books in the 1860s, and that was in Minnesota. That's where I'm from. That's where I live now. And that's where my tribe, the Dakota people are from. And this is the 1860s. This is right after the uprising and the Dakota exile, they called it, where natives were basically outlawed from the state. They could be shot on sight. That's where the term Redskins came from. You brought in an Indian scalp, you got paid for it.
Okay.
So this is the time she grew up in. And so whenever she referred to natives in her books, they weren't, I guess she wasn't referring to them, very, very, very nicely, because people back then were scared of natives, Right. We were monsters. We were the boogeymen. So,
right.
And so she wrote from that perspective. So based on that, they decided to change the name of this award. Now it's just called the Children's Book Award or whatever the fuck, But of course, people found out about this. Fox News, of course, the PC police are banning Little House on the Prairie books now. They ran this whole thing there, that they're being persecuted and all this shit, acting like victims as always. And then William Shatner got on Twitter and went on a big rant about basically how he's misinterpreting that he's basically thinking that these books are being censored, that we're censoring history and we're censoring Little House and all this shit.
Here's my thing. Why is William Shatner even involved in this to begin with?
Maybe he's a fan of the show. Maybe he grew up. I mean, those books were pretty popular, I guess, back then.
I mean, I get that. I'm just like, why William Shatner of all people? That's my thing.
I mean, his argument, and that's the thing, his argument, I agree. He's talking about censoring art, censoring, historical art. It's from its period. It talks about, the history. It's that historical perspective that is important. That like Mark Twain. Mark Twain.
I was just about to say Mark Twain. Yeah. With Huckleberry Finn, they say the N word like 200 times in that book, right? Yeah,
I mean that's a product of its time. It's still considered a classic, but it's a product of its time. And yes, we have learned since then, and I'm for that. I'm like, I'm really against censorship. I don't think art should be censored. I don't think it should be changed. I don't think anything should be omitted from these books. But that's not what's happening. People are freaking out. Like William Shatner's freaking out. Fox News is freaking out. These books aren't being censored. They're still available. You can still go to the library. You can still go buy one. You won't be arrested for it. They're not burning these books. They're just changing the name of the award.
Right.
So basically what happened on Twitter is a bunch of native people who were following William Shatner, of course, started responding to him. And I guess he probably felt attacked.
So you have native Star Wars nerds.
Yeah.
I mean, Star Trek nerds. I mean,
Star Trek nerds. Yeah, okay. Kind of like, they freaked out and started responding to him, and he basically started deleting or blocking everybody. Now, the reason why I found out about this is because I follow Jeffrey Veragi. I don't know how to say his last name. He's a native comic book artist. He works for Marvel. He's done a lot of shit for Valiant, and he's a big Star Trek fan.
Shout out to Get Valiant.
Yeah. Shout out to Get Valiant. He got blocked by Shatner. And that's how I learned about this, because I saw his thing, My Hero blocked me today, and then I looked into it, and that's where I found, William Shatner is like losing his mind over this shit. He got triggered hard.
Right.
So now you got all these natives that are like, fuck William Shatner, that racist piece of shit, and, all this shit going on. And I'm just like, man, here's my thing. Like I said, I'm not a fan of Star Trek. I'm not a fan of Little House on the Prairie. So I don't have any emotional attachment to what's going on but for me as a Native American, I'm like, okay, it's nice that this committee or whatever, this award committee recognized our point of view. I'm like, oh, cool. You're changing the award because of, it's insensitive toward Native Americans. Cool. I appreciate the gesture. Did I ask for it? No, but I appreciate the recognition. But I didn't ask for the whole blow up though. This whole what it's causing. It's watching the Fox News segment, seeing Megyn Kelly and all these non-Indians.
Oh, right, you're right.
Non-Indians talk about how we should feel about it. It's like I didn't ask for that either. You know what I mean? And it just makes, again, it's like when we Native Americans we put up with so much and we barely say anything, but when we do say something, everyone just freaks out. Oh my God, you guys just get over it. And all. It's the same shit. And that's what's happening again. It's like nothing's changed. And it's just like bumming me out. Oh, crap.
Right. And that's why I feel like I agree with you. We shouldn't have censorship because we need to learn from the past.
Yeah.
Those things that's how they thought, and that's how is that we need to keep all that media the same. That way we can learn where we came from and now come from there. Like just like we were talking about, gays and LGBT, we need to keep that media the same way to understand where we came from mentally wise, perceptive wise, from there to where we are now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I feel like everybody's overreacting. William Shatner's overreacting. Nobody's censoring the books. No one's taking the books off the shelves. You can still go read these books. They're just changing the name of this stupid fucking award. That's all they're doing. And the natives, I understand the outrage. I understand the need to lash out. But at the same time, these motherfuckers don't know. You know what I mean? You can't get mad at motherfuckers who don't know. And when you try, if you want to educate and have people learn our perspective, you got to go easy, man, because you start coming at them with rage and, you know, the way they are, especially on social media, you get blocked by William Shatner.
Right, because you can't tell who's sincere, who's been an asshole on the internet. That doesn't translate, you know, to social media. So
yeah. So now William Shatner looks like a racist piece of shit who hates natives, and now you got a bunch of natives who are like, fuck William Shatner, fuck Star Trek, blah, 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 you know. And I'm like, oh, a bunch of bullshit.
Well, at least we got Chris Pine, so.
Yeah.
That brings me to something, because like you were just saying about that, like I said, there was can I tell you secretly one of my favorite shows of all time?
Okay.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one of my favorite shows of all time. I used to love Dukes of Hazzard. I used to watch every Friday when it came on CBS. Now, they tried to get, and I don't even think they tried to, I think they banned Dukes of Hazzard.
I know they freaked out about the Confederate flag.
The Confederate flag. I think they like had it banned, and I think they tried to remove, you know, Dukes of Hazzard from everything. Like get it taken off the, you know, airways, get it taken off syndication, everything because of the Confederate flag. And I'm like, okay, I get it. The Confederate flag is a sensitive subject. I get it. It's a controversial subject. But at the same time, like I said, it is history, and there's some people, I shouldn't be defending the Confederate flag, should I? I'm thinking about where I'm going with this. You know, I like this show. Fuck it. You know.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, yeah, I know.
Flag, you know, I get it's a Confederate flag. These guys riding around and stuff like that, and you know, yes, I understand the show is insensitive, but you know, we don't need to ban stuff like that. We don't. Like we need to have an open discussion of stuff like that. That's what we need.
Yeah, and just because you like the show doesn't mean you're a sellout, Uncle Tom, fucking scumbag piece of shit.
Oh, I've been called all that stuff before.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So, but that's the thing about racism. The problem is with racism, why it lives so long, because we never have an open discussion about it. We always just cover it up, and we just don't talk about it, and we just never mention it. Hope it goes away, but. That's how we're in 2018 still having these discussions. Yeah. Because we never have the discussion.
Yeah. So and that's the thing with what these natives try to do with William Shatner. They just, hey, dude, you know, at least we're being recognized. You know what I mean? Right. We were always being portrayed as the boogeymen. You know, in all the Westerns, you know, we were the first Hollywood monsters, you know,
right?
You know, and still to this day, you turn on your TV and you know, find a native, you know, on TV, and if you do, is he in buckskin? You know, has he got a feather in his hair?
Is he wearing a shirt?
Is he on a fucking sports jersey? You know, it's the same shit, and that's what we're striving to be recognized as human beings and not cartoon characters.
Right.
And so when this, like I said, when you know you got these books that are just out there that are portraying natives as, you know, boogeymen, it gets a little exhausting, and I think that's what this committee did is like, okay, we're gonna change this name. We can't have this book, this award that goes out to children's books, you know, referring to natives as boogeymen or whatever.
Right.
You know, and I'm like, okay, cool. That's nice. Thanks a lot, you know. And it's just, it gets brought up like, yeah, they just take it so much out of context and overreact. And then we can't have those conversations because everyone overreacts right away, you know. And that's what's happening here. People are just freaking out when it's just all it is. It's just an award, you know.
Yeah. And I do feel like people freak out on both sides when sometimes we do need to just, you know, calm down on both sides. You know, just have a discussion. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. And I understand, you know, being a native. I understand, you know, wanting to lash out and getting pissed off, and because you deal with it all the time. You got to choose your battles, like constantly. Choose your battle.
Right.
Like, you know, like in Get Out, like, should I say something, or should I, you got to
you're seeing all this weird stuff going on.
Yeah, like okay, hey my man, and the way they try to shake your hand and shit,
right?
And, like okay, should I let this slide, or am I gonna be that one darky that causes a scene?
Right. You're gonna stay in the sunken place. So
yeah.
All right, like I said, we're gonna move past that. I'm just gonna do a little bit of house cleaning real quick. Now for everybody that has been on PC, everybody knows about the Steam sales that just went on. Then I'm just gonna give you my overall haul of what I bought, during the Steam sale. So like I said, I bought NBA 2K for I think $10 or something. I don't know. I bought a whole bunch of Season 2 character pass, Street Fighter 5, Street Fighter 5, Season 1 and Season 2. I bought Vanquish, a really fun third-person shooter. I bought Dragon Ball Z Fighters, fun game, haven't played it yet. Marvel's Capcom Infinite, said I was not going to play it, but it was on sale, so fuck it,
How much?
$30.
Oh, that's not bad.
It was $60, but this $30, this is with the DLC.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah, so Black Panther comes with it, so.
Okay.
So, and I also bought Bayonetta. So.
Oh, the first one?
Yeah, the first one. Yeah. So some fun games. So follow me on Twitch, follow me on YouTube, stuff like that. I will be streaming these games one another. I'll be having commentary going on, so definitely follow me, some shit like that. So yeah, just getting that out the way. We can move on past that. Can we move on to the bread and butter section now?
Sure.
Cool. Let's do that. Okay. So for those of you that are new to the Comic Book Bullies podcast, this is the bread and butter. This is the part that pays the bills. This is where we actually talk about comic books. Save this for the very end, but that doesn't mean it's any less than what it is now. Like I said, a lot of interesting books came out this week, and both Eli and I read a shit ton of books more than I usually read, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was a big week.
It was a big week. So, Eli, I'm going to give you the biggest book of the week, and you can start right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You should have known that was coming.
Are we talking about the wedding? Is that?
Yeah.
Or should I say the non-wedding?
Oh, you're spoiling it. Yeah, fuck you. You're spoiling it now. Let's move to the next one.
Basically, do we have to talk about it?
we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. It's an open discussion. So just give us a, quick summary, quick breakdown.
Okay, so for the past, year? How long is it? How long have they been building this shit up for?
Since Tom King started on the book?
Yeah, they've been teasing. Batman has proposed to Catwoman about a year or so ago. She said yes, and we've been building up to this wedding. Save the date. I even had an invitation.
I saw it. You posted it on.
Yeah. It showed up in my pull list a couple weeks ago. I was like, oh, that's cool. A little actual invitation. Infamous Batman number 50. So this is the actual wedding issue. Let's see. They decide, Batman, Catwoman decide, let's get married tonight. We'll get married at dawn. You get a witness, I'll get a witness. We'll do it on a rooftop, because we can't tell anybody our identities, all that shit. So they're crossing their I's and dotting their T's, or you know what I mean, vice versa. The issue is basically told through, I believe, letters that they're writing each other. Are they vows? You kind of think that they're writing vows to each other, and it just goes through the history of the relationship. It's basically a tribute. The whole issue is a tribute to Batman and Catwoman's relationship throughout the years. You have these different sort of artist pages from a bunch of guest artists, like
Frank Miller shows up on.
Yeah, Frank Miller. You got Faye Bach. You got Daniels. Jim Lee, of course, had his version of Catwoman. Oh yeah. So it's basically like I said, it's a homage to the relationship of Batman and Catwoman. But at the end of right when you think the wedding's going to happen, Catwoman decides to leave Batman at the altar because her reasoning is, if Batman is happy, then he can no longer be Batman. Batman needs to be driven by misery and tragedy to do the things that he does. So, and she doesn't want to rob the world of Batman. So she decides, fuck it, and takes off and leaves him at the altar. They don't get married. The last panel shows Batman's rogue gallery all gathered, and they're like, the bat is broken because they know he's bummed out, because his love left him. So, yeah, it was kind of anticlimactic. They built it up. I mean, I get the reasoning. Even while I was reading it, I was like thinking, how long is this marriage going to last? This can't last. And how and I was thinking, how long are they going to drag it out? And who's going to come and retcon all this shit? I was thinking
flashpoint everything.
Yeah, I was thinking of all of that while I was reading the comic. And then when it actually happened, I was like, oh, yeah, well, there it goes. So kind of anticlimactic. They teased this big event and only for it not to happen. And it's kind of a bummer it didn't happen. You kind of felt bad for Batman because, he's always a miserable asshole. And you like to see him, happy for once. But that's not the case. You don't get to see that. So let's see. I'll give it a 3.8 out of 5. Okay. I will say not quite a 4 because of the story, but there was some awesome moments. Like I said, there was, the moment where he asked Alfred to be his best man or to be his witness. And, when they hug each other, that
was touching to me.
Yeah. There was some very poignant moments. Of course, seeing all these artists, do their tributes to Batman and Catwoman. It was really cool. I mean, it was a good read, but storyline, it was a disappointing outcome, I guess. So 3.8 out of 5, I'll give it.
I'll just give my quick synopsis on. Like I said, I read the book also. Some of the same things you were saying, I was agreeing with you also. It was very anticlimactic. I thought it was gonna. I was kind of hoping, Batman would find happiness and it would be a new chapter in Batman's life, and the character could grow. Mm-hmm. Her and Catwoman, but apparently, basically at the end of the issue, kind of reset to 0. We're not gonna review Catwoman 1, but basically the shows what happened. Catwoman skipped town. She's in another town having other adventures and shit. And yeah, like you said, the most touching part of the book was when Alfred asks, "You said you need a witness, so do you want me to contact Master Dick or do you want me to contact Master Clark?" Know what? I was thinking about you the whole time, Alfred. I mean, I couldn't do this without you. You've been there from step 1. And when he hugged him, man, I was like, oh, man.
Yeah.
Because that always didn't sit right with me, with Dick Grayson and Clark Kent being his best man. I was like, why are they fighting over? Because I think, I always thought that Dick shouldn't be the best man over Clark, But having Alfred being the best man, like, that makes more sense than anything.
Yeah.
Basically his father figure, being his witness and stuff like that. And then you had, Catwoman getting Holly Robinson in there. Holly Robinson was in the Batman Year 1 storyline. So nice callback to that. I do like how every area they're in has the name of a comic book creator that worked on Batman,
Yeah.
And even at the very end, when it came down to it, and I think it was almost a nod to it, where Batman says, we're going to go where the rooftop that started it all. So Catwoman goes to the Bob Kane rooftop, where Batman goes to the Bill Finger rooftop.
Wow, I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool. They kept dropping like Wing Avenue and stuff, and it was just pretty cool in there. So, and then just the ending of how the Rogues just finding out that Batman is broken. And I mean, so has Bane been planning this the whole time? Is this like some new information?
Yeah, Bane has been kind of hanging in the back, but I mean the Joker too. I thought the Joker was gonna do some shit. Like
they set it up like he was gonna do something. He never showed up, right?
Yeah, and that was another thing. I thought like at the wedding there was gonna be this big battle, like an ambush.
I'm so glad they didn't do that. Yeah. I'm so glad. I get sick of that shit. Ultron shows up and fucks up a wedding. Like, don't do that, man. Just this was heartfelt. I felt like even though it was anticlimactic, it was the best anticlimax you can have, because the whole time they're telling the story about how they know each other and basically how they really know each other, because they look in their eyes and tell that Batman looks in Catwoman's eyes, and because the colors flicker, he can tell that she's a complicated person he can't figure out. But Catwoman looks in Batman's eyes and Bruce Wayne's eyes, she just sees blue, and she realizes, well, he's simple. He's basically it's still a child. He's still the same child that saw his parents die then. And if I complicate his life, he can't be Batman. The only way he can be Batman is to be a child. To be in Arrested Development. So yeah, I mean, I kind of see, but at the same time, this is actually the same thing why Talia left him.
Yeah,
like in Son of Demon, like back in the 70s, some shit like that. So
well, and yeah, I mean, they've teased. I mean, him and Selena have always teased a relationship, and there's always something that's always fucked it up.
We can't be together because of this.
They don't trust each other. In the end, they don't trust each other. And you thought maybe this time it might work out.
Yeah, especially when Batman asks Alfred, like, "Can I be happy?"
Yeah. I mean, there was like a few issues back. There was a scene with Damian and Selena where they were talking, and they were actually like she's like, "You don't have to call me mom," and they had that those conversations that a child and their step parent has, and it's like, wow, is this really gonna happen? So.
And that's the thing I love and hate about Tom King's writing about Batman. He makes Batman feel human.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm used to that yet. I haven't gotten used to that yet. I'm used to Scott Snyder where he prep God and all this shit like that. So
Metal God. Right.
So awesome story. I give it a 4.5 out of 5. I love the book.
Okay.
If they got married, I would give it a 5. But they didn't get married. The splash panels where they were just showing each one how they met, I was loving it. So yeah. Let me move on to the next book. We're going to talk about Man of Steel number 6. Now, Man of Steel number 6 is the last issue of this Man of Steel miniseries. Mm-hmm. So this is the conclusion of this whole thing, what's going on right now. So basically how the book starts off in a flashback where, Jor-El is in the Kent's apartment and he's talking to Kent, and he, they're arguing back and forth with, Clark and Lois. And Jonathan just busts out and said, "Look, I'm going with him. I got to go with him." He's like, "Why you got to go with him?" "Because something is not right with me. I saw this alternate future where I blow up the planet, and you didn't even tell me about it." He was like, "Well, the reason I didn't tell you about it because it wasn't you. You can't be responsible for something somebody else does in an alternate reality. That may be true, but they turned me down." He's like, "Who turned you down?" "The Teen Titans. They turned me down. They said I wasn't Teen Titan material, and they're the greatest group in the world." And Clark Kent whispered to himself, he's like, "I thought the Justice League were," but he doesn't mention that to his kid. He was like, "So something is not right with me. You telling me to just wait it out, stuff like that, but there's more that I need to know." And Lois is like, "Look, you can do whatever you want to, but Jor-El, you're not taking my kid." And Jor-El said, "Okay, let me give you option 2. How about you all come?" And they think about like, huh? Yeah, you all come with me. Because let's be honest, Kal-El, you need to learn more about the universe also. Your growth is kind of stunted just living on this backwater planet Earth. And since he's a Kryptonian son by a Kryptonian adult by Krypton standards, he can make his own decision. So Lois just makes a phone call. She's like, "I tell you what, let me call Prairie. Let me get everything straightened out." And Clark is like, "Wait, I can't leave. I'm Superman. If I leave, Earth might be destroyed tomorrow. Darkseid might just come and pop up at any time because he knows when I'm not here." You're like, "Okay, well, tell you what, you stay and let me go with him." And then we cut the present time. And in present time, Superman is at the center of the Earth with Rogul-Zar. And Rogul-Zar is actually just ignoring him. He's got this big-ass bomb that's about to destroy the Earth and shit like that. He's just ignoring Superman, doesn't even care. So Superman just starts talking shit to him so much that eventually he turns around and gets attention. He tries to attack him. Superman's thinking to himself, "Okay, this guy is too strong. I can't fight him straight up, but maybe I can outsmart him." So Rogul-Zar attacks him. Superman is able to like sidestep him and move him out the way real quick. And then Rogul-Zar just gets super pissed. But the moment he turns around, he noticed that the bomb is gone. The bomb is gone because Superman had took the bomb and flew it in outer space. And Superman is flying. He's like, "Okay, I got about a 4-second head start on this guy before he catches up with me, if I'm lucky." And as soon as he turned around, Rogul-Zar is just right on his ass. They in outer space. He's beating the shit out of him and stuff like that. The bomb is going up like that, and he's thinking he can kind of overpower him, but Superman can do nothing with this guy. So he's thinking, "Oh well, this look like I'm gonna get my ass whooped and get killed again." But before Rogul-Zar can lay the final smackdown on him, out comes Supergirl. Supergirl smacks the shit out of him, and they going back and forth. So now it's 2 Kryptonians against 1, smacks shit like that. But he's still beating the shit out of both of them. They can't handle him. So Supergirl is just like, "Okay, I'm finna end this right now," and she pulls out the gun to the Phantom Zone. And she just puts him in the Phantom Zone. Fight's over. And Superman's like, "Oh, man, I want to fight this guy, but she's like, well, you just can't just throw everything into the Phantom Zone car. That's kind of fucked up. He's like, well, first off, he blew up Krypton, so if he was on Kryptonian, he would have sent to the Phantom Zone anyway. And plus, he blew up Kandor with his own bare hands. So, in my opinion, fuck him. And they actually like scribble out the him, the other part on top of him when she says it. So I'm quoting what she said. So they like, well, he's done. Well, we still got to find out what happened to Krypton, whether or not he was telling the truth, because we don't know that. And Supergirl's like, you know what? You're right about that. So what I'm gonna do, since you have to be here, I'm gonna go into outer space. I'm gonna find out exactly what happened to Krypton. And when I find out, I'm gonna come back and let you know. Matter of fact, if I go out there, I'll find out what happened to Lois and John also, since you can't contact them, since Fuckface over here destroyed the Fortress of Solitude, and you can't contact because you had the transmitter in there. So he like, thanks. So they hug, and they actually do a funeral for Kandor, where they do like some kind of Kryptonian funeral where they shoot a bunch of shit in the sky, and the Justice League is around there, and blah 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 and whatever. So cutting back to a little bit, 2 weeks into the future, they go back to Metropolis, and they got all these fires, and the fire, deputy chief is just, some little kid walks in, and she's like, I know who started the fires. He's like, oh, you do? Yeah, it was Superman. She's like, wait, what? Yeah, I saw him when he did it. At first, I thought he was doing it, to help people. When I saw on the news, it was arson all over the place. That's when I realized he wasn't doing it to help people. And that's how the book ends. So, yeah. Okay. Conclusion, the Superman's family is out in space doing whatever with the galaxy. They beat Rogozar. I didn't hate Rogozar as everybody much hated him. Yes, I agree. He's villain of the week. I get that. But, what you expect? Big monster. Superman can beat, Superman can't beat. And eventually he's going to come back. If Bendis is in the story, Rogozar will come back because everybody gets out of the Phantom Zone. That's what they do. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I give the book a 4 out of 5. I'm still looking for it. I feel a lot of people. Matter of fact, every other podcast on the Outright Geekery Network has been shitting on this story.
Oh, really?
I'm the only one that likes it. I've been listening to every one of you guys. You don't think I don't listen. I listen. So, yeah, so they've been shitting on the book. I'm the only one that likes it, but I'm sticking by my guns. I like this story. It's very Bendis-y. There's Bendis dialogue in it. But, like I said, it's a good change. And no matter what happens in this book, everything's going to be reset to 0 anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Especially if nobody likes what's going on. So, I'm just enjoying the ride. That's all. I'm just enjoying the ride.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, should I go with the Hulk, I guess?
Yeah. I think the next book. Yeah, you can do the Hulk, because I got the, yeah.
Okay. So Immortal Hulk, number 2. And this is cool. I'm into this. It's basically back to basics. Bruce Banner is wandering the countryside, walking the earth, bummed out, tortured by his demons, tortured by the past. He's not sure if his brain is working right because, the Hawkeye's arrow fucked him up and he's having trouble, thinking. He stumbles upon this town where there's these mysterious deaths that are caused by radiation. He finds out that it was gamma radiation, and it was a scientist who was doing these experiments as he was trying to save his son from cancer, I believe, and he was doing all this gamma radiation to basically try to turn, have gamma heal them in a way that, Bruce Banner, gets healed as a Hulk. By doing that, he ends up killing his son, and then a bunch of the town, and then he kills whoever finds out. So this sort of mad scientist is kind of doing all this shady shit. And the Hulk comes out and basically, puts a stop to it. And then at the end of the book, he calls up, the EPA or whatever, and tells them about what's been going on in this town. And they dig up his son. His son is still alive. He's like a gamma zombie. So pretty cool. Again, it has that sort of horror. They're going back to the horror element of the Hulk. The Hulk is a monster, so it's got that whole, Tales to Astonish, Tales from the Crypt type of a horror story. Bruce Banner being tormented. He's like the Wolf Man. He's, he's struggling with that inner demon of his and his alter ego. And this Hulk is intelligent. He's like Mr. Fix-It. He's like, and I'm digging
which is
this.
actually how he originally was, like back when they first made him. So.
Yeah, I mean, this is really cool. I'm into the story. It's on my pull list now. I'll see where this goes. The art is awesome. Alex Ross doing these covers is really cool. I like the horror element that's going on in here. So yeah, I give this a 4.5 out of 5. It was a lot of fun.
Cool. I hope they stick with this direction, because I hate it when they go with the direction of a character and then just because it doesn't sell a few issues, they just put everything back to zero. Stick with this one for a while and just see where it goes.
And this is just like the old school. It's like this issue is like a one-shot. It's another self-contained story. I thought they were going to continue on from issue 1 with that biker gang and the journalists or the cops that were investigating the murders and all that shit. I thought it was going to be a continuation of that, but no. This is just Bruce Banner, on the run, going into a new town, new adventure, just like the old school books where he just jumped. The Hulk would jump, 100 miles away and land somewhere and fight some other monster. Then he'd jump somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And the next issue, new story. And that's what I liked about this. It's just one and done. It was cool.
Cool. Okay. All right. Like I said, I guess the last book we're going to do, this is the last book we're doing, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if you had another one. I have nothing else.
No, I'm good. So yeah.
Okay. If we missed something, oh well, fuck it, we missed it. Yeah. Last book we're gonna do is Captain America #1. Yeah. At first I wasn't gonna review this one, but I saw the writer's name. And
me too.
Yeah.
I said,
so
I'm gonna check this out.
Yeah, that made me. Yeah, okay, I'm curious now. Ta-Nehisi Coates. So
he got us again.
he got us again. I was like, okay, I gotta see what he does with Captain America. For those of you that are new to the podcast and don't know who Ta-Nehisi Coates is, like I said, he's not only writing for the Atlantic, he's also been the writer for Black Panther for like the last 2 years. So I voiced my opinion on his Black Panther storyline. Eli has also. That's why I was curious to see what he was going to do with Captain America, and I wanted to see if Captain America fans to have the same reaction that us Black Panther fans had 2 years ago. Because I was like, oh, I'm here for the shitstorm. So let me go ahead and review this book. Okay. We wind the timer back to a few months ago. We are in Russia, some mountains in Russia. And Hydra is carrying this convoy with this blonde girl in the back of it. She's tied up in this whole mountain. And out of nowhere, they get attacked by this brunette girl. She's just there, and she's just fucking everybody up, just taking out tanks, killing folks left and right, stuff like that. And the Hydra agents talk to the blonde girl. They're like, "What are you doing? What is she doing out there? She's nobody." And the blonde girl is telling them, "Look, this is Russia. We've stopped Nazis. We've stopped Napoleon from attacking us and conquering us. What makes you think Hydra's going to be any different?" While he's saying that, like, dead bodies just getting thrown at the window of this guy's also, and then she just flicks her arm and just destroys the tank that she's in. So the blonde girl and the brunette girl address each other as Alexa and Celine, and there's only one Hydra agent that hasn't been killed yet. And Celine, the dark-haired girl, says, "I'm hungry," and she's like, "No, we're gonna save him. We got to send a message to Mother Russia, because there may not be heroes. There will always be winter." So they take that one Hydra agent, they teleport. So cut to present time. We are in Washington, D.C. At the National Mall. Domestic terrorism is going on. We have domestic terrorists by these cyborgs with American flags on their face, just like the old Captain America supervillain named Nuke. But instead of just one nuke, you got a whole army of these guys, and they're just mowing down just anybody they can see. They don't care. They're just open firing everybody. So, of course, Captain America pops in them.
With guns. Yeah, a mass shooting.
A mass shooting. This is not symbolism. This is not subtext. Yeah. We know what they're saying.
Yeah. This is intentional.
Right. So yeah, Captain America just pops out of nowhere. He sees these guys out of nowhere, and before he decides to take them out, but while he just decides to stop there and try to talk to him, while he's talking to him, Bucky is actually in a sniper position. Calling him out. He like, "Steve, just give me the word." Pop him, just give me the word. Like, "Bucky, calm down, stand down. I'm gonna just have a conversation with them and just see where it goes." So they talk back and forth with him. They basically say, "Captain America, you betrayed us. You're Hydra. You're the same guy that tried to take over the world last year. So you betrayed us. So we're gonna try to take you out too. So they open fire on Captain America. Captain America like Bucky, fuck him, take him out. So Bucky starts firing on him. He starts firing on him. And it's like one dude left and they go back and forth. And he's basically saying, Captain America, you betrayed us. He's like, I'll never betray them. I'll die before I betray the dream. Well, you about to die right now. Before he can get another word out, bam, he gets sniped in the neck. Bucky just takes his ass out. And so before that, Captain America sees 2 helicopters come in. He tells Bucky, get inside. Get the fuck out of here right now. He like, Steve, what's going on? Don't worry about that. Just get out of here. So as soon as Bucky gets out of there, they drop like this bomb or this gun or stuff like that, and it's this basically this anti-EMP they got from Tony Stark. And since all these nuke dudes are cyborgs, it takes them out just like that. He's like, oh, that's why you wanted me out of there, because I'm a cyborg. It would have took me out too. He's like, exactly. So Captain America gives these big speeches to the survivors there, like everything's gonna be all chin up soldiers like that. But he like these speeches don't really mean anything because this mother had lost her kids. And this dude that lost his brother, stuff like that. No amount of speeches can really help that. While they having all these speeches, stuff like that, up comes Thunderbolt Ross. He just got out of jail because since he helped lead uprising against Hydra last year, the government has pretty much gave him full pardon. They say anybody that helped out Hydra, no matter what sketchy background they had, they've been full pardon. That's the reason why Bucky just running around, nobody gives a shit. Even though he's killed like everybody in the last 50 years. So Thunderbolt Ross is basically saying, I need you to help me take down these domestic terrorists. And like Captain America, like, okay, what do you need? Like, no, not you. I need Sharon Carter. Like, wait, what? Yeah, I need Sharon Carter. So is this because of the bullshit that happened last year when somebody that looked like me tried to take over Hydra? Not really. But we're attacking domestic terrorists that are draped in the American flag. You guys see the optics on this, Cap. So we just need you to just kind of just back away from this. Matter of fact, bring Bucky too. So he leaves and Captain America like, oh, fuck this dude. So he tries to go on a date with Sharon Carter, tries to get information out of her like he usually does. She's not giving any information because she doesn't trust him anymore. This ain't the old days where she would give him shield intel because, she knows that the intel she gave him last time, whoever that guy was, betrayed the trust and she don't want to go through that again. Captain America's like, fuck. So nobody wants anything to do with Captain America. He even tries to stop a mugging in Brooklyn in his own neighborhood. And when he tries to fight one of the muggers, one of the muggers yells to him, "Hail Hydra." He's like, what the fuck? So he beats the shit out of him and tries to, help out the person that got mugged. The person that got mugged is so afraid of him, she runs away from him. And you were like, damn. So basically my entire trust has been broken because of everything that happened last year. And he doesn't know if he can ever get that back. Now they cut back to Mother Russia, and we got that blonde girl and that brunette girl holding. They're standing in front of this whole tower in front of the Red Square, and they got this one Hydra agent, and basically the blonde hair, the brown girl, the dark haired girl just sucks all the energy of him like a vampire, just kills him, And they stand in front of the Red Square, and just like, well, Hydra is nothing compared to us. America will understand. So basically, what they're saying. The Russians are the bad guys.
Yeah. Cold War all over again.
Cold War all over again. So Hydra is out of the picture. Russia's the bad guys. We hate Captain America because we no longer believe in America. Mm-hmm. And the president, who they never name, is pretty much pardoning every criminal ever known to man.
Yeah.
Because they have a picture of Baron Strucker. He's giving his appreciation to Baron Strucker. I'm like, okay. Coach, I get it, Coach. But you gotta calm this stuff down a little bit, man. I'm waiting because just like we're picking up this stuff, the Captain America fans reading stuff that haven't been reading Black Panther are going to get pissed once they read this book. I haven't seen the backlash yet, but we know it's coming.
Yeah.
So I know you read the book. What'd you think about it?
I mean, I thought, considering that it was Coach writing, I thought it was really well written. It wasn't very. I was expecting boring shit like Black Panther.
Right.
This actually moved at a brisk pace. It set up a lot of cool shit. I mean, it's intriguing what's going on. But yeah, the political commentary is right there. The whole gun thing, the whole thoughts and prayers. What speech are you going to tell this woman who just lost her family member to a gun violence and all that shit. I mean, you could, it's blatantly right there. But I still was into it. I might see where this goes for a while.
I mean, honestly, it's the best Colts book I've read so far.
Yeah. I was surprised that, wow, this is actually, I thought it was going to be just a bunch of talking. Like,
Right. Just like T'Challa just staring out, just monologuing like 15 minutes,
Yeah, I mean, those Black Panther books were such a chore to read. It's just like, okay, I get it. Now somebody blow something up now. Somebody throw a punch.
In this, he got Captain America fighting people, Bucky is sniper position, like he had used the military tactics. I was like, where the fuck was this in the Black Panther comic?
Yeah, no shit. I think I think maybe he's finally figured out how to write a comic book.
Well, like I said, he's been in the game for 2 years now, so he's probably learned how to write a comic in 2 years.
Yeah,
I mean, he's already been a great writer, so he just needs to learn the medium. And I guess he cut his teeth on Black Panther, but now I guess he's ready for the big leagues now with Captain America. I don't know.
Yeah. So I enjoyed it. For the most part, I enjoyed it. I thought, the social commentary was very in your face, but what are you going to expect, Captain America written by Coates? What do you expect?
I mean, that's, and that's the thing. I've always noticed that damn near every Captain America comic I've ever read has some kind of political subtext to it.
Yeah.
Some of it is heavy-handed, some of it is kind of, under the radar, but it's always there. It's almost impossible to tell a non-political story with a guy that wears the American flag as a costume.
Yeah. And now people who distrust him. He has to earn the public's trust again. And that's so right now. That is a very, current, social climate right now of America's distrust in the government and its leaders and its, in themselves, and you know what I mean? Right. So it's a cool metaphor. It is very in your face, but at least there was a lot of action, like those Russian chicks.
Right. Just destroying everything. I don't know if they've been in the books before. I don't know if they're new. They were cool. That's all I know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the fight with, Bucky and Cap taking out those nuke cyborgs. I mean, I was like, whoa, there's some action right away. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And it sets up some intriguing storyline. And Russia is the bad guy, just like they were in the 80s. And the 80s is we're all in this retro 80 thing right now. And
right. Everything's full circle. So.
Yeah. So here we are. And I'm on board. They haven't lost me yet. I'll see what this goes.
Yeah. I mean, hey, good job, Coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a feeling, Eli, we're probably one of the people that's going to like this book. I feel like everybody else is gonna shit on this book just because they see Coates' name on it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if I pull up YouTube right now with the review of Captain America 1, it's gonna be some asshole tearing apart the book, sitting on a fire and probably pissing on it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I was surprised. I was basically surprised. I was like, oh shit. Coates writing Captain America. Oh geez, let me see this train. Yeah, let's check this out. Oh yeah, and then I was like, whoa, that was kind of cool.
Oh man, yeah. So I give the book a 4 out of 5. I mean, it was heavy-handed politically, but at least it had a good pacing to it.
Yeah.
So shoot, we got anything else?
I think we got it.
Cool. Like I said, if you're listening this long, basically like, share, and subscribe. We have a shit ton of other podcasts that are going on. We got sister podcast Geeks Av. We also have This Geeks and Comics. We have Hulu TV. We have Comic Cast. We have Get Valiant. We have Instruments of Destruction. We had a shitload of them. A whole bunch of them. Listen to them. They're going to review the same books we did, but they're going to have a different interpretation to it. I'm pretty sure one of those podcasts are going to shit, piss, and set fire to the Captain America comics. So listen to them and see what they think. As far as the contest is over. If you didn't put it in time, oh well, doesn't matter. I'm gonna play the game also on the Twitch stream. So screw you.
I'm opening it now.
Right. I think next week is what? Comic-Con? Is next week Comic-Con, Eli? Or
is it next week? Or is it the week after?
I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. It's coming up. We'll work our schedule around that. We'll see how it goes. Until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
We'll talk to you guys next week. Same bullet time, same bullet channel.
Cool.
Cut off the screen.